Welcome back, you guys. I'm Tassie, and this is my Shaman Memoirs channel. And today we're going to announce the 3 lucky winners. These 3 individuals, they are going to get a 30-minute session with just me. I will be contacting you guys through Facebook, so make sure to check your messages if you are the winner. We're going to schedule it out, and then that way you guys have time to, write your questions. I want to give you guys a tip. Back when I was trying to look for shaman services, etc. with my teacher, I literally had a notebook and I wrote down all of my questions because whenever I'm in front of them, I would have no questions to ask. So as a tip, you guys, pre-write your questions, get them ready for me, and then we will have a 30-minute session. I will contact you guys through Facebook. All right, you guys, here we come to the 3 lucky winners. Remember, for the giveaway, 3 individuals, they will get a 30-minute session with just me. And I will be contacting you guys via Facebook Messenger. So then you guys can go ahead and, think of any questions you want to ask me, whether it's about myself or about you. So here we go. We're going to find out the first winner, and I want to apologize in advance in case I kind of suck at pronouncing your name. Here comes our first winner. Who is it? Mai Chi Mo. So I will be reaching out to Mai Chi Mo, and you can feel free to reach out to me too, but you get the first 30-minute session with me. And then here comes our next one. Oh Lord. Ashley Vang. So let's go ahead and remove this one. You are the second winner of the 30-minute session with just me to ask any questions you have. And now the last person. And the last winner is Cleo Hugh. So you guys are the 3 lucky winners. Now, I do want to say that there was over 500 people who did apply to win in this giveaway. So I'm going to go ahead and remove you as well. And let's just do one more person as a surprise to give back to you guys. Just one more person. Here we go. Her Cindy, you are the last winner, the surprise last winner. So again, I will be reaching out to you guys, or feel free to reach out to me as well. Thank you to everybody who participated. There was over 500 people who participated in this giveaway. So there was a lot that we had to all write down and do the name wheel. It was just insane, you guys. So thank you to all of you guys for sharing and just spreading the word. I know I'm coming back. I'm getting back into the groove of things and uploading videos. All right, as usual, we are going to start off with a ghostly update. So I posted on social media, but okay, so whenever I upload videos, right, my family, they go and they watch it, and then we discuss the things that I talk about in the videos. So it so happened that last weekend I was at my brother's place, and we were talking about how, yeah, I'm really scared of the downstairs unit. I'm okay being alone in the upstairs unit. I haven't had any problems, but there are things there too, you guys, okay? Don't think that, the ghosts don't move around, okay? However, there's something in particular in the downstairs unit I don't mess with. Okay, anyways, so a long time ago, I actually used to live at this 4-plex, you guys. So I lived on my own. My brother, I had a house, and then I sold it, and I went to go live with my brother, and then I went and got my own unit, my own apartment. And it's really funny because it was down the hall from my brother's. So, I used to go out a lot and have a lot of friends over. We would drink and go partying, but that was a long time ago. Anyway, so eventually I decided to move back in with him because he bought the 4-plex. And so he left his apartment there where I lived as well. So then I went and moved in with him in the 4-plex. And then eventually I moved here to Uptown. So I've been in Uptown living here for 5.5 years now. It's been a while since I've lived here. But anyways, so I used to live in those units for probably a good 6 months, I want to say, because we moved in August, and then I moved out to my own place in Uptown probably in February or March of that following year. So the ghost that I'm about to talk about, you know, like I know her well. So I haven't seen her in a long time though. So anyways, back to the story was I was telling my family about how, yeah, I'm really afraid to be in the unit downstairs. However, in the upstairs unit, I don't have a problem. So because I had a loud mouth though, and I kept saying this, what ended up happening was we all got home, it was late at night. I'm going to get ready to leave for that weekend because I went and slept over, and then I leave my stuff there and everything. So it's getting late. We come back from dinner and I'm like, okay, I really should take off my makeup, pack up my stuff, and then I should probably go home in a while. So then, you know, like usually people go with me to go upstairs, but then this time nobody wanted to go upstairs with me. So usually I go through the back deck to go upstairs, but then this time I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go through the stairs, forget it, I'll just do it. So then as soon as I leave the downstairs unit and I close the door, I have to pass by the basement. So I started to hear somebody walking up the stairs, and I freaked out and I'm literally running all the way upstairs. And then as soon as I get up there, I just close the door and I'm like, oh, okay, like I feel safe now, right? So here I am getting ready. I'm packing up my stuff, and then I'm slowly packing my stuff, okay? And I'm also like taking my makeup off, and women, we do a second cleanse, right? The first cleanse, you're using like micellar water, you're getting all your makeup off. And then I'm like rubbing my eye, and then I can sense the ghost coming out of one of the bedrooms, coming towards the hallway where it leads to the bathroom as well. And I'm like, that's kind of weird, you know, like I haven't seen her moving around a lot lately, but I'm just like, whatever. Now I'm getting ready to put soap on, and whenever I put soap on, I always start with my cheeks first, and then I can feel her coming closer past the bedroom, coming into the hallway, and then I start to rub it into my eyes, and then I feel her coming into the bathroom. So I'm freaking out, and I just open my eyes. Literally, guys. I have like soap from my chin up to my eyes, and I'm just like looking at her, and she stopped in the bathroom, and I'm like freaking out because I'm like, what is it? Because she usually does not behave like this. So I'm like trying to still do it and getting my forehead. But then now I have to like wash my hands and try to get water on me. I'm just looking at her the whole time, like trying to wash my face. But you know, like my eyes were stinging, and you know, I've had soap in my eye before as a kid, and it used to hurt. But in that moment, man, my eyes did not hurt as bad as I thought they would. Yeah, so I just stared her down, and then I told my guides to come out because I was getting really scared because I'm still alone upstairs. So then as soon as my guides, they come out, she starts to back away back into the bedroom, but she doesn't leave. She doesn't go back into the closet, okay? She just stands there. So then I get everything done, and then now I'm like really rushing. I'm trying to get things out of the fridge that I had left there. I'm trying to grab everything. And you know, like when you're kind of hurried and you're kind of scared, it feels like you're forgetting everything, and you have to go back to where you were to pick up things that you keep forgetting. So I was definitely frazzled, you can say. But she just stood there at the doorway just staring at me, and I'm just like, I take it all back. I'm scared being up here too. I'm scared here too. So then I grab all my stuff, and then I quickly run out the door, and I lock the door. And so I'm running through the deck side, and I end up back downstairs. So then my sister and her younger daughter is there. So I was going to tell her, but I was like, I really can't, because I don't want her to get scared, you know, because then they also like sleep upstairs. So I was just like, it's okay, just forget about it. They'll find out in this video. Now, I will also say, I've talked about before the ghost island. Okay, so a lot of times, throughout years of my life, I'll have dreams and I'll go back to the same place in my dream, right? So a common occurrence with my dreams is known as the ghost island. I frequently go to this place, you guys. Like, it has been years since I have been dreaming of the ghost island. It has been like a parallel world, okay? Where it started off, I remember the first time I came upon the ghost island. It was beautiful. And then I literally found property in another dream. I found property on this ghost island. And the thing is, it was on sale, but it was like really, really expensive. And there was a ton of bidders for this property, right? And the previous owner chose me. Of all people, they wanted me to have the property. So I've had other dreams where people I know in real life, they've gone to rent, like stay at my place when I'm not at the ghost island. Okay. It's like, apparently it's like a vacation spot. Okay. And I frequently have dreams of going to the ghost island. Now, usually I only go there when I'm around people who are really haunted. So, because when I stop hanging out with people for a while and I start to hibernate and I don't really leave the house, this usually happens to me after New Year's. After New Year's Eve, I just hibernate for like the whole month of January into February. I don't leave the house. My boyfriend, he runs out and gets all the errands and everything. I do not leave. So anyways, usually around that time, I no longer have the Ghost Island dreams. But I will say, when I play Zenith, you guys, so, and this is tested, that's why. So when I was playing Zenith, and it's just through the VR, and I'm playing with people who are haunted, I will go back to the ghost island. Okay. Yeah. But anyways, so the ghost island, it's a real place in the spirit world. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's basically before you go beyond. There is an abyss area that you could go to in the spirit world. And apparently I own a villa in the ghost island there. But here's the messed up part with the ghost island. Okay. Every time I go to the ghost island, it's so beautiful. It is so exciting. Everybody is super happy, right? However, the longer I'm there, it's just crazy stuff ends up happening where the perfect illusion starts to crack. And then I start to notice something's wrong. And then I realize, oh no, I'm at the ghost island. So here's the kicker, you guys. The ghost island, it's not like a place to relax and vacation. It's Ghost Island for a reason, you guys. It's an illusion, okay? And everything there is haunted as heck. But it never fails. Every time my dream opens, it is beautiful. I'm so happy to be there. You know, we're going to play, we're going to vacation, but it's haunted. And then I start to realize, like, oh my God, everybody around us is dead. You know, it usually in that dream, sometimes there is going to be an antagonist, right? Something that is trying to bother us, like my group of people. And I never go there alone, you guys. I'm never alone in the ghost island. I always go there with a bunch of people who are all haunted. But anyways, so yeah, so sometimes there's an antagonist who's trying to like bug us, whether it be a crocodile or something weird, right? That you're running from. You know, sometimes it is an actual demon running around, but sometimes I just wake up and I realize like, oh man, I went to the ghost island again. But anyways, it feels like I'm being haunted in my dreams. Now, another common theme that I've been having lately for my dreams is raising my shrine. Yes, you guys, the time is coming. It is coming soon where I have to raise my shrine again. However, it's probably not coming as soon as people would like, because I have a long list of people with a laundry list for things for me to take care of as soon as I raise my shrine. And it's one of those things where I still haven't decided yet when or I do raise my shrine, will I even tell the general public? Because, you know, I just feel like if I do, I'm getting thrown back into the exact world I left, you know, where you don't have a life anymore. Like all your weekends are gone because you're doing ceremonies for people. You have people coming every single weeknight because they need services, because they're trying to get one of the weekends you're available. I have people who offer to do it later at night on Saturdays, on Sundays even, you know, like it gets to the point where I'm just like, I just want it through regular business hours, Monday through Friday, and kind of just live my life. But a lot of people choose weekends because people don't work on weekends, and then they can have relatives to come and help and come and just enjoy the ceremony and do it with them. So I don't really know what I'm going to do at this point yet. I haven't really made my decision yet on that, but I know I have to go back eventually. But anyways, I have been having a lot of dreams about raising my shrine. So if you guys can kind of tell, I'm kind of losing my voice here. This also happens because I live in a bubble, you guys. Okay, so like at home, it's just me and my boyfriend, and I'm not used to being around a lot of germs. So like I work from home, so Monday through Friday I'm at home. I rarely leave the house because my boyfriend, he goes out and he runs all the errands for us. So then on the weekends, if I happen to see people, I've gone out to dinner with friends, I start to lose my voice. It's always my throat first, and then eventually I'm okay though, but then it gets pretty bad for a little bit, and then I'm okay again. But you guys notice? Oh, you guys don't notice. You weren't there because I wasn't filming yet. But I went to Vegas. So I went to Vegas, and when I came back, I wasn't as sick as I thought I was going to be. Because if you guys will go back to my older videos, every time I've traveled and I've come back, I also lose my voice, right? But then, no, this is just from this past weekend. And I know a lot of it has to do with like my sisters. We share drinks. Okay, so like, like you go and get bubble tea and everybody wants to try each other's flavors, or you order a drink at the bar. Everybody wants to try your drink. And that's how I'm losing my voice, okay? But anyways, I always get better. It just takes me a few days of not being around people, and then I get better. But then what happens is I go back to being around people, and then I get my voice again, where it gets like this. All right, to the point of this video. So in this video, I had mentioned last week's video that this time we're going to talk about people who have trouble trusting their guides' answers, right? And a lot of this has to go hand in hand with confidence and building it up. But then there are a few different scenarios and why this might be happening to you. So let's get into it. So a lot of beginner shamans, they're actually quite often taught, don't always trust what your guides tell you, right? So because of that, it really messes up people. I mean, one thing you're trying to see if your guides are responding to you and you're getting the right image, emotion, message, right? And then you're also afraid of giving up the wrong answer, because what if it was just you and it wasn't your guides? So there's a few things that go hand in hand with this, okay? So the reason why a lot of elders, per se, and a lot of beginning shamans are taught don't blindly trust your guides. Because when you first start, and I've mentioned this before, you have these younger guides, spirit guides with you, okay? And there is a huge difference in the spirit guide levels, and you won't really know this until you are a master shaman. You won't be able to tell. It's one of those things where now you look back in your life and you're like, oh yeah, but like you don't know it when you're going through it, and that's the problem. So when you first start out as a shaman, the reason why you have teachers is because the teachers are supposed to test you. They do ask you things, like my teacher did to me all the time. She would ask me like, oh, so when you went and did the ceremony, what did they have you do? Because she's listening to what her guides are telling her, and then she's also comparing it to what I'm saying, right? So if I'm like giving out wrong information, doing the wrong thing, responding in the wrong way, according to what her guides are saying, usually what your teacher should do is something in the spirit world to actually take care of that. So let me explain this. And I'm not saying that these younger spirit guides are bad. That's not what I'm saying. They just behave very differently from the older, more experienced, stronger spirit guides. That's why. Younger spirit guides, they tend to be very emotional. Okay, so the stronger and older the spirit guides are, they are not emotional. They're just not. So you're going to have the younger spirit guides, they will, like for example, if they don't like somebody, okay, so they will kind of throw a tantrum. That's what I'm kind of trying to get at. They throw a tantrum. They'll be kind of aggressive about letting you know they don't like somebody. And then sometimes they give you feelings and implications of almost just a really strong disdain of somebody just because there is something about that person they don't like. It suddenly makes you hate them, like in pure raging kind of hate. Okay, so that's what they tend to do when they are younger spirit guides and they are not as advanced in the stronger ones, okay? They tend to be more gossipy too. So sometimes they tend to over exaggerate their information because they really, really are trying to get you to listen to them, right? So you need to think of them as children where they have a lot of tantrums instead of just the stronger older guides. They will just tell you, this is why we don't like them. And that's it. They don't, like sometimes they'll give you a gut instinct like, oh, I shouldn't trust this person. But you shouldn't have a sudden hate for somebody, like where it's very, very strong, like a child would have, right? So they're just more, the stronger, older spirit guides, they're just more nonsensical about things. They're very straightforward, and they don't sugarcoat things in a way, but at the same time, they're not very emotional. They don't portray a lot of emotions, and that's how they really are. So, with that being said, going back to trusting your guides blindly, that's what they kind of refer to it as, because these very same spirit guides will sometimes try to tell you your teacher's wrong. Okay, so they're gonna tell you that your teachers try to get rid of your super powerful spirit guides, but you really don't get them until your third level. So with that being said, a lot of times when shamans are first beginning in their journey, unfortunately they lack trust in a lot of individuals, and sometimes it can be their teacher. So just try to be rational about it, but I know it's going to be really hard because it's your spirit guides, it's you, it's your feelings. You can't separate it sometimes. So I would definitely say don't blindly trust them until you are at least on your way to your third level shrine. Okay, so when you're at your third level shrine, it's like everything makes sense and you're more solid. I mean, like I've told you guys before I became a shaman, I was not the greatest person. Okay, I'm not the person I am now. Okay, I'll tell you that, because I was more angry. I was angry quite often at every little injustice in the world. My level of anger was just from 0 to 100 real quick. Okay, like it's it was just because I've always been seen as an aggressor. Like I tend to be very aggressive in real life, in anything, and a lot of people they're always like try to justify it, like, no, Tassie, you just know what you want. Like, but I used to go from 0 to 100 in my justice level, right? So like if you mess up just a little bit, or I see you have any kind of flaw, it was just no, like just karate chop you, like you're done for. So it was very probably extreme. That's what it was, and so like I still have that really high justice level in me where I'm constantly needing to, where I'm always seeing what's right and what's wrong, and what should you really be doing, what is the right thing here, even if it's hard, right? And then anyways, I'm rambling, but that's like that's kind of the extent of how I was. So curses went about everywhere. Okay. Like I was very good at curses when I was younger, before I became a shaman. Okay, before I became a shaman, I was very good at curses. And they just flew out left and right. It wasn't something I ever thought about, because in my mind, I am right, man. Like, even the heavens would be on my side. That's how right I am. So, like, that's what I'm saying. Now, now that I have reached my master level shaman, I'm not the same way. Now I am very understanding of how people could have gone down the wrong path. And it's no longer my judgment call, because somebody else will punish it. It shouldn't be on me to do it. So I'm very different in that aspect. Now, let's say you tend to ask your spirit guides a lot of yes/no questions, okay? So there's a thing that your spirit guides will do, okay? So like, and people may not be aware of this, because my own spirit guides, they had to teach it to me until I understood it, because I wasn't aware of it either. So if you ever ask your spirit guide something and you get utter silence, or they give you multiple choice, for example, there is a word in Hmong, and I've said this in another video before too, where they love to say this to me. Okay, so if somebody asks me a question like, am I going to get that job? And then I ask my spirit guide, are they going to get the job? And then they'll say something that's in Hmong, and they'll first say "zhou ya." "Zhou ya" means that's right. And then I'll be like, really? They're gonna get the job? And then they'll say "ji ya," which is no, that's not right. So I'm like, wait, when I first heard it, did they say "zhou ya" or did they say "ji ya"? So that it sounds almost alike, especially when it's in your head. Because then the second time they repeat it, it goes further away. And then further away until I can't hear it anymore. So then I would do something else where I would force the image to come forward. Can I see them at the office, right? And then they'll show me an office, and then they'll keep blinking the person there and not. Okay, so sometimes, man. Okay, so I finally figured out why they do that, though. Okay, so I also tell you guys how we are not magic 8 balls. Okay, so even if you are a shao or a psychic type, right? You're a medium. You can find answers and you can see images, right? We are not magic 8 balls. We are not there to answer everybody's simple question. Where are my keys? You know, like that's not what we're there for, you guys. So you have to remember your spirit guides, when they do those kind of things, it's because they do not want to answer. They are trying to do their service in answering you. However, they're trying to let you know we don't want to answer. So when they don't want to answer, what you need to realize is they are asking for that person, whoever's asking these questions, to offer them something, because they are not a magic 8 ball. So usually when you guys go to Shayai or ask a shaman for services, okay, you are pretty limited on how many questions you can ask, as long as it's around the central main point. If you're going to ask another question, another different type of question, especially if it's about somebody else or a different scenario, you need to come back on another day. Because one thing people tend to forget is shamans, we have our spirit guides, right? But our spirit guides, everything is a contract. It's a contract. When you submit offerings to the shrine for our spirit guides, they will agree to your contract for just that thing. But if you keep asking a bunch of questions, they're going to start fibbing left and right because they don't care. Okay, so they are very strict in their requirements on what they want. We as humans, we tend to, make excuses for relatives or friends and close family members, right? But to them, it doesn't matter. So they are not here to be used and as a magic 8 ball. So that is when they will tend to just answer you however they want, because they need something back in return. So I found that if somebody offers something to the shrine, and this can be, incense sticks with the joss money rolled up, and then they set it on there. Some shamans do require cash. For my lineage, we don't have a limit. We don't have a minimum either. It is whatever's in your pocket and you want to give us, even if it's $1, that's okay. They just still require something to kind of pay homage to them, that you do respect them and their time and their services. That's what it is. So try it. Even if they're your siblings, even if you live together, especially your own children, okay? Like, your spirit guides do not they do not care if it is your own child, okay? There comes a time where they need to put services and offerings for your actual spirit guides, okay? That's what I'm saying. Just try it out sometimes. If you find you sometimes struggle with an answer, it's because they don't want to answer you. Now, another topic that a lot of people discuss is going to be, well, how come last weekend this family just did a ceremony and then next weekend they're planning to do another one? Like, what gives, right? Like, what is this all about? So everybody likes to talk, especially about the families who do a lot of ceremonies, okay? Sometimes people are like, man, that family must be really haunted. So there is a saying about the threes, okay? So the threes, I've also talked about in older videos, you guys. There is a saying that 2 shamans will be told the exact same story, or pretty close to the exact same story. And then 1 shaman will be told something completely different, okay? So what do you do in those scenarios, okay? For myself, I do tests. Whenever people come to me for services, especially for if somebody is ill or sick, we always offer you a bargain, right? So, for illnesses, we do not charge to look at that, like if you're having your arm pain, or, you keep getting sick or something like that. We don't charge for those services. However, what we always do, though, after we've told you what the issue is, we offer you a deal. Okay, so remember I told you guys, spirit guides always work in contracts, okay? Even if you're not aware there's a contract, there's a contract, okay? So usually what we do is we will tell you, oh, in X days, you're going to feel better. And if you do, you have to have a ceremony or the illness will come back. Okay, so that's usually what I do. A long time ago, I did have a family and they had a daughter who was sick for like 6 months. Okay, they went to a lot of shamans. Nobody could see what was wrong with their daughter. And they've done ceremonies, okay? They've done ceremonies to fix their daughter and nothing was working. So what they did was they ended up finding me. And, you know, here I am, this bright-eyed 22-year-old girl, American as heck. And I'm just like, oh man, because I didn't, you know, I didn't want to do services for people. Anyways, so then, you know, I looked at them and then I saw a man looking back at me in their house. It was a dark demonic entity. And then I told him about it and I told him, you know, in 3 days, if your daughter's better, you have to do a ceremony to fix her. And then in 3 days, she was better. Now, what I will say is, for people who always say like, oh, don't go to this shaman because they don't really see things clearly, okay? Like, every spirit guide and shaman, they will see what they are willing to do, okay? What they can do. That's how come you have shamans who see different things, okay? For myself, especially if somebody is already a master shaman on their own, okay, I honestly believe they know what they're doing, okay? Like, I mean, nobody would waste this much time, money, and energy on this if they didn't, okay? So, but I will say, every shaman will see different things that's wrong with people, okay? So, oh, I just got like, oh, PTSD from entering, like, I remember how many times I've gone into the to do a ceremony, and as soon as you enter the spirit world, it's like this feeling of anxiety hits you because you see how much you gotta, like, how far you gotta go, how much you gotta fix, and how long it's gonna take you. But anyways, you know, like, everybody will see different things and their spirit guides will only fix what they see. Okay, so if, let's say, you came to me and you told me, well, this shaman told me I just need to find a shaman who can do this and this and this and this, I'm going to look at you like you're crazy. Because if my spirit guides did tell me that this is the deal that they're willing to do, they won't do it. I don't care if you have written down MapQuest directions for me, okay? If my spirit guides won't do it, they won't do it. So that's why whenever you go in, before you actually ask for services, right, like a whole ceremony, you need to go and have the shaman look at you first. Look at your issue, right? And then I usually recommend that they offer a deal. What is the deal? To see if it's really going to work for you. So it's kind of like a guarantee for you. And most shamans will do that. They will offer deals for you, like in X amount of days. If you do get better, if you don't, go and look for somebody else. You know, like, go and look for somebody else to call this and that, fix this and that, right? So that's usually what my spirit guides and I do. And the reason why you're going to have families who do many ceremonies, like they just fixed somebody last month and now they're doing it again, it is because things can happen, right? So let's say that the shaman of a month ago came and fixed your 2 sons and your wife because she went to the funeral home and accidentally got a spirit really upset, okay? And that's why she's been having nightmares, you know? But then all of a sudden, a couple weeks later, you know, you start to realize your daughter's getting sick, right? Now there's something else wrong. So then that's when you have to go and have a shaman look at that and see what else is wrong so that they can fix it. Really proactive Hmong houses where they do a lot of ceremonies, it's because you need to see it as it's a blessing to the house. So a lot of people, they have no problems doing ceremonies because the more protection, the better for their family. Just like the sika, you know, like people raise the sika, and I don't know what it is, but I have seen sikas where, because, okay, a big thing with the sika that people may not know about, or you do, but it's basically the shrine for your ancestors that protect your house, okay? they tend to bring in money for some reason. I don't know how it works, okay? But it does. I remember somebody who was just getting into the shaman world had point blank asked me, how does the Saga really work? Like, because did you guys really get money, like raising the Saga and all that stuff? And it was one of those things where they were like, they did the Saga, but at the same time, they weren't really sure it worked, you know? And I will say a lot of families I know of who has a Saga, you know, they do end up not doing so bad with money, okay? Like, I don't know what it is. But you know, a lot of times with families, they tend to live frugally, you know. But I'm just saying from my own experience, a Saga tends to bring money into the house. But that is just one side of it, okay? They're actually there to protect the house. That's what it is. Now, I will say that people are picky about shamans the way you are about medical doctors, you know? Like, who do you jive with the most? You know, like, usually that's what it comes down to. And sometimes it's going to be the convenience. Like, you know, with a lot of traditional monk families, they are very suspicious of outsiders. So they tend not to go to shamans from the outside, right? So usually you have to be introduced to that shaman for the family to kind of get to know them, get a feel and sense for them. Like, maybe I'll just try them out. And I will say a lot of people do just test shamans, okay? They have no intention of actually doing an actual ceremony with that shaman. They just want to see how good are you as a shaman. So there is that too, you guys. And I want to say, as you know, part of the last subject here, a lot of times I find that shamans, new shamans, they tend to struggle with confidence that they're giving the right answer, okay? So this is just genuinely what I do. I don't worry about what the answer is. You know, like for myself, it's usually a message or an image that's not for me. All right. So I just tell it to them the best way I can in what I'm saying and what they're saying. Okay. It is entirely up to the individual, whatever they want to do with the information. Okay. I'm not here to say my word is law. Whatever I saw is just what I see, and it's what my spirit guides are willing to tell me. And it doesn't mean that, you know, I'll get upset if they'll go to a different shaman. Everybody is free to, because I would too, you know, like if I had the opportunity, I would. And I do recommend people going to multiple shamans, even though people tend to have a natural fear of shamans, just because they don't know what that shaman's going to do. We've all heard crazy, weird stories, right? Of shamans doing weird things to people, okay? Is that true? Yes, it is true, okay? It does exist. But at the same time, you know, when you keep your circle small, I find that sometimes you can't always find the help you need, because not every shaman will be able to fix every problem, myself included, okay? So that's how come I always recommend people going out to seek out other shamans, because call people, call your friends, your aunts, your cousins, your long lost cousins, okay? People are going to know somebody who can actually help you, and you never know. And you won't know unless you try it. But there are a lot of people who live in fear, which is very valid, is very true. I've known somebody who was also deathly afraid of shamanism because they've only ever heard of really bad stories. But I don't know, maybe because my approach about things is more, you know, optimistic. So, like, I just, even like my teacher, like, I had no idea who she was. I had no idea what shamanism really entailed until I went into that world, right? So, I mean, for all I know, she could have been pure evil. Okay, so and I would have never known that, you know? So, if for myself, though, it's maybe because back then I didn't really believe in it either until it actually happened to me. I will definitely say I was not a believer in shamanism until I became a shaman, you know? Like, there were things I didn't mess with, don't get me wrong, okay? Like, but, you know, at the same time, you know, like, it was just one of those things where I didn't truly believe in how much it really entailed until I went into it too. So there is that too. Now, I will say that there are things that my guides won't tell me. Okay, so like I've mentioned this before too. I used to be very psychic, you know, like very show style, and they wanted flowers on my shrine. My teacher made it so that I didn't have flowers though, because she didn't want me to be that style of shamanism. And then, but I will say that back when I first started, they used to show me a lot of things about unnecessary things about people, okay? Like where I'm like, I could have lived my whole life never knowing that. And then as time went on and I became stronger as a shaman, then what ended up happening was my spirit guides only tell me what I need to know. That's it. You know, like they're not going to tell me, oh, she's cheating on her husband, and they show me her boyfriend or something like that. You know, they don't go into that extent. If I ask, sometimes they'll show me images, but even then they don't really care. You know, it's just one of those things where they're really here for the spiritual side. If it doesn't have an impact spiritually, where it's a service they can offer or anything like that, they genuinely don't care. So that tends to be what my guides are like. So I hope that this helps you guys. And I know that the confidence part, it takes time. It really, really does. And I would definitely say don't hold back. Even if the image or what you're being told or your gut instinct doesn't make sense, you'll be surprised. Okay, you'll be very, very surprised. When you tend to hold back and not say it because you're afraid it's not right, I feel like that's when you lose more of the opportunities instead of being able to embrace your true self and your true capabilities. So for myself, I didn't hold back. I just blah, 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 whatever they tell me. And what I don't like is sometimes I see things too fast and then I forget about it. So that kind of sucks. But you know, like I do feel like when you tend to hold back though, like the only person who's going to really be hurt by this is you as a shaman, really. That's the only thing that would happen. For everybody else, it's a message for them, and that's what they're here for. So you should give to them whatever you might know, whatever you might see. Do I sugarcoat things that they cannot handle? Yes. Yes, I do sugarcoat things, you know, like especially if there's things I know about that person, like, oh, they have a really short temper, and if you bring this up, they're going to become really embarrassed. And so, you know, like I'll tend to sugarcoat things and kind of allude to the subject, but it's pretty rare I straight out just say it to them, because I know sometimes people, because you bring people with you during services, okay? Usually, unless you know them very well, people do not go alone to shaman services. They tend to always bring somebody with them. So, all right, you guys, that's it for this video. And thank you guys again for sharing my last video, you guys. I am back, getting back into the groove of things. I will be reaching out to the winners to set up our one-on-one. Until next time.